Well, welcome back everyone. Hello, this Brother Kenneth Thomas, once again, here with our campus conversations with Brother Ken. And today our guest is Valerie, but you can call her Val Sonnenfeld.
Hi, brother.
Welcome, Val.
Thank you.
Val and I go way back.
Way back.
Way back to 1996 when I first started here as a brother.
Yes.
Anyway, like I said, it's just conversation, which Val and I have at least once a week because I'm over in her office once a week when I'm doing spiritual care.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, Val, if you would start out letting everybody know what your title is and how long you've been a team member at the Brothers of Mercy here at the Brothers of Mercy campus.
My title is Volunteer Coordinator for the whole Brothers of Mercy campus, and I've been here in March 36 years.
Well,
Yeah.
but you didn't start in volunteers, right?
No, I started in the kitchen, and I was thinking about this years ago before old Sacred Heart even had a kitchen. You remember that? And they would come over.
I've heard about this.
Yeah, we'd cook for them, and the brothers would come over, and I'd make them breakfast. I make the breakfast for all the residents in the nursing and rehab center.
So when did you go over to the volunteer department?
A couple years later, actually I got a job with social work, and then I was in the volunteer coordinator position, and they made that volunteer coordinator position full-time because it was starting to bloom.
So you've lovingly been doing that ever since all these years.
Mm-hmm.
You said 36 years, right?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've only been here 28, so
That's
you have a
okay.
few years on me.
No, we've known each other a long time.
Yes. Tell me about an average daily routine for your position, and I know with everything you do it varies.
It varies every day. When I come in, first thing I do is check my voicemail, check the schedule, check on the volunteers, check my email, and it starts with that.
Check Brother Kenneth's mail,
Yep.
especially on Tuesday when I'm coming over.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, we have mail that's supposed to come to Brothers' residence, but sometimes they get sent over to nursing and rehab, and
Yeah.
Phil puts it all together for me so I could. It's mail for the brothers and for the headquarters buildings. So
Yeah.
the White Building.
All the buildings, and all the U.S. mail goes through my office. And sometimes, a little piece of mail, it gets missing, and then we find it and send it to the right place.
So I know there's a lot of times when Val, her volunteer doesn't show up, she sorts the mail, makes sure the mail gets to all the residents. There's times, probably almost every day, you work at the front desk.
Not every day, but yes.
Sits and fills in when
Whenever they ask.
they need breaks.
Mm-hmm.
She helps me with the Tuesday Mass at the Nursing and Rehab Center many weeks. Because she knows which residents are able to consume communion and which are not able.
Right.
So anyway, nice question. How many volunteers do you manage, and what are the various roles and activities they take on?
Well, we're blessed now. We're with almost up to 50 volunteers since COVID, so we're building it back up. Our volunteers help in all different areas. When they come to me, I ask them, what do you want to do? When are you available? And I try to make that work for them so they're satisfied. And most of them are. Well, I'd say all of them are.
And if it wasn't for Vel, I wouldn't have all the spiritual care volunteers we have.
Eucharistic ministers. They do that. We have a nice handful. And we have our snowbirds, but they're all going to start coming back.
Right.
And so we have spiritual care. We have friendly visitors, volunteers who bring in their dogs.
Transport volunteers.
Therapy transport, salon transport, activities. Our volunteers man the gift shop. I now manage the gift shop, so I do that also with volunteers' help with all the ordering.
Woman with many hats.
Yep, that's okay. So we have the volunteers who come in. They do clerical. Sort and deliver the mail. So a lot. Sewing volunteers.
And I've noticed that since your son's become an adult and is not so much in the house anymore, you're able to volunteer more, like at the Caritas dinner and
I am.
different
I do
things
that.
like that. So she's able to
Yeah.
get involved in even out of work activities.
Absolutely.
Oh, and We have the, I know I won't be here this year, but the Greyhounds.
Oh yeah, the Greyhounds come in. There's a whole organization that adopt Greyhounds. And they never have to race again. All they have to do is lay on the couch now. That's what they say. And it's going to be nice. There's about 20 to 25 dogs that come in. And I take a group to Montabaur, and Julie takes a group to Sacred Heart. And then we all meet back at the nursing home on the back patio.
And they come over to Montabaur Heights too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember the first year we did that. We took everybody around the whole campus, 2 hours, and
That was way too much.
yeah, we were worn out by it.
Live and learn, right?
Right. Oh, how many volunteers were there in the most before COVID?
Oh,
Is it close to 100?
at one point it was like 120, and we had over 20,000 hours. But you know,
Yeah, for various
now
reasons.
it's good. Like just yesterday, we had 8 volunteers sign in.
Right.
One day, so it's building up.
And she does keep track of the hours.
Yes. So that is my goal for this year, is to keep building up the volunteer program and keep doing the best I can to do that.
Wonderful. What did you do for volunteers this week during National Volunteer Week?
Well, we had a wonderful luncheon. You were there.
Oh, it was wonderful.
It
Yes,
was.
it was.
The food was delicious.
Prepared by the chef and the lead cook at the Nursing and Rehab Center.
Yep.
Always wonderful food.
Always. And we set it up real nice with tablecloths. And gave them all a bottle of sparkling grape juice. Were you there? And Andy's mints and candy and chocolate, and it was all nice. And we set it differently now. You like that way? Because
Yes.
then we can all see each other.
Right.
Yeah.
And she even had us all introduce each other
Oh
this year.
yes, I did that differently this year because there's some new volunteers. So I thought that would be really nice to do that. I like that. And people
Yeah, that
like
worked out
too.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was driving her nuts. I was stirring people, causing a little trouble there.
Yeah, well,
Having fun. What might people in the community not fully appreciate about the quality of life that the patients and residents receive from the skilled nursing and rehab center staff, team members?
well, if anybody would ask me, the staff is just here. They're caring. They're wonderful. They make the residents happy. You could go over there and just see with the therapist, the beautician, the activity staff. Actually, just everybody. Not to just name
Right.
one here, one there. Everybody's here to take care of the residents. Even me, I'm not certified, but if a resident needs something, call light or anything, you know, that's not hands-on, the staff will do it. And working with activities, we got a wonderful bunch of activity staff. Just wonderful. They give their all. Right now they're getting ready for a pretzel social, because it's
Oh,
pretzel
you're missing
day.
their pretzels and pretzel
That's
day.
okay.
You might have to go over there.
And I just want to mention one thing that when I was walking out just now, Julie handed me an envelope, and Residents Council wanted to do that for all activities staff, because I fall under activities, and it was a beautiful letter
Oh, wonderful.
from the Residents Council thanking us for all we do for them. I mean,
Is that great?
yes, it's like, wow, well,
Kind of makes you feel good.
it does.
That's why you were kind of walking on here when you were walking over here. Let's see, where are we? Do you have goals for yourself or your department or your department for 2024 that you would like to share?
Yeah, I did mention about building up the program, and that's a huge goal of mine to get back. And when people ask for a volunteer, I do the best I can, and it seems to be really falling in place.
Yeah, usually, and I know there's a lot of times when I can't, like, I'm not available to serve mass. I'll say, Val, I tell Val, I tell my secretary, Val says, oh, I might be able to get this
Yeah.
person, that person, people that she knows who are Catholic and dependable and could be a good assistance with the chaplain.
And they really love that. They're very devoted. I mean, all the volunteers are, but boy, if you would follow around a Eucharistic minister, they're meaningful. They'll walk in, like Bob will tell me, he walks in a resident's room, and as soon as they see him, they go like this, because they know.
On communion, yeah. But it's funny because even sometime when we're going in there not for communion, they were, okay, I'm ready. But they also, as in Bob and a few other people, sometimes the volunteers even make up extra, not make up as far as when they missed, but like when Bob added, he says, "Oh, I could come in on the weekend or a
Oh,
certain day,"
yes.
and so she has volunteers. So no, add to what Val already has planned for it.
Yeah, I
But
do.
of course, they work it out with her first.
Oh, yeah. I do a schedule, but that's one thing also for the department. One thing I strive for is flexibility. They, sure you can switch his day. Sure you can switch an assignment. You got to be that way. They're volunteers.
Well, that's two things I know about you. You're flexible and you're organized.
Yeah.
I've seen some organized people, but Val's to the ultimate. I think if I would go in your office right now when you weren't looking and throw a bunch of papers around, you would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is that?
Yeah. Don't mess with that Val's desk. If you came across an experienced nurse, social worker, or aide, or anybody else, and they ask you what they might love about working at the Brothers of Mercy, what would you tell them?
The first thing I'd say, it's like family, isn't it? It's just like family. Everybody's so nice. They really are, and flexible. All the departments I've had, because everybody goes through tough times in life, this or that, and they're always flexible with me, always. And I worked hard for it, but they're very flexible. And I would tell somebody, if you're thinking about leaving, something happened, I always say grass isn't greener on the other side. But when I made the move here, it was green for me. So I'm glad that I came here.
That's good, and the pasture stayed green some.
Yep.
What hobbies or activities do you enjoy outside of work?
Well, now that I have more time on my hands, with summer coming, I do like to go outside. Most of my flowers are perennials now, though, and they just come up. But I do like to go outside. And anytime my son wants to come over, that's always open. Because I've always spent most of my time with him, and my husband, Pat, of course.
Of course.
But Daniel's actually coming over tonight, too, with his beautiful girlfriend, Skylar. And so they go to...
So, hi, Daniel and Skylar. You're now famous.
So that's really, we're kind of homebodies. I go to my mother's every weekend, and...
When I know your son's a talented musician.
He is, very.
Son's
Yeah, they start White Sabres Drum and Bugle Corps this
You brought up,
weekend.
now you're going to have to explain what White Sabres is.
It's a bugle corps. That's not a marching band. It's White Sabres. It's a...
Right, Drum and Bugle Corps.
Yeah,
Where's that out of?
Rochester.
Rochester.
Mhm.
But they travel a lot in the
Oh.
southern tier, right?
They travel all over, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. They have competitions. I've gone to competitions in Pennsylvania before with another mother, and they compete. It is unbelievable how, it's just wonderful. So you can check that out online, White Sabres Drum and Bugle Corps. And it's a lot of work. A lot of work, but they love it. They're both musicians.
Well, great. Anything else you would like to say to our friends out there before I let you go? Back to work?
Yeah, back to work. I just want to thank you for everything. It's, really a pleasure, and I respect the brothers, respect you.
When you've been around the brothers a long time, too.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful place.
I'm going to tell one slightly embarrassing story, but it's
Okay.
kind of funny. Remember when the brother Augustine passed away? And we were over at the cemetery next to the campus where the brothers being, and one of the brothers, Val was a little teary, so one of the brothers says, "Val, you gonna cry like that for me when I pass away?" And she says, "Brother, you're terrible." I heard that and I said, "Yeah, Val, you gonna cry like that for me when I pass away?" And she says, "Brother, you're just as terrible as he is." But I'll never forget that. That was, I had to lighten you up a little bit. It was a sad moment, so.
I think of Brother Gus a lot. He gave me a cutting of a rose of Sharon,
Oh,
and I
wow.
planted it at my house, and it's big and beautiful, and it blooms every year.
So even when you're not at work, you remember the Brothers of Mercy.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if there's those are your last words, it was good to have you here. I'll see you Tuesday,
Yeah,
God willing.
see ya.
No, actually, I won't see you, but
No, right.
when I'm back over there, I'll see you again. And this was episode 9, and stay tuned in the next few weeks for episode 10. And this is Brother Kenneth saying so long from the Brothers Mercy campus.